Hey, I'm Darlene, and you're watching episode 1 of the Fix My Drawing series, where I take common drawing mistakes and walk through possible solutions with you. If you've ever tried to draw a male, but he ended up looking more like a female instead, or the other way around, don't trash your drawing because there's always a way to fix it. Let's go step by step and pinpoint which facial features make a drawing look more masculine or feminine. I have a drawing of a female face here that I'm going to gradually change into a masculine one facial feature at a time, so that if you're working on a drawing right now, you can easily pinpoint which changes you want to apply to your own drawing. Now, after making the features more masculine, I'll convert the drawing back again, step by step, so you can experience the process both ways. Let's get started. I want to talk about the hair first. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to keep my character bald, so you can see how powerful it is when you apply changes to only the facial features. It's easy to plop on a stereotypical female hairstyle on a drawing and call it a female, but that's sort of a lazy approach that you don't want to have to depend on. Anyway, let's move on to the first facial feature, the eyebrows. I'm going to try to exaggerate the masculine features, so let's create super thick eyebrows that are closer to the eyes. The function of eyebrows are to block sweat from entering the eyes, and men usually have larger, bushier eyebrows than women. You can add some additional stray eyebrow hairs around the main body of the eyebrow as well. And then, let's draw the other eyebrow. As you can see, her eyes are outlined very thickly to accentuate or bring attention to her eyelashes. When drawing males, I like to put less emphasis on the outline of the eye so it doesn't look like he's wearing eye makeup. If the outline of your eyes are drawn quite thick and you don't want to completely redraw them, simply make your outlines thinner by erasing them. Now there's quite a difference between the left and right eye, but if that doesn't do it for you, try making his eyes narrower. To do that, I'm erasing the eyelids and drawing them closer together. Along with narrowed eyes, I'm also giving him hooded eyelids. You can learn more about hooded eyelids in my eye tutorial. That's where the skin below the brow bone droops down and folds over the eyelid crease. This is optional, of course, but I think it adds to his masculinity because it can make the brow bone look more prominent, which is quite a masculine feature. Now it looks like the skin below the brow is pushing down on the eye. Compare the two eyes against each other, and you'll see how big of a difference a small detail like this can make. Let's work on the nose next. I'll darken the bridge of the nose to make it look taller and chiseled. I like to give the bridge bone a wider and more distinct shape. Instead of a smooth outline for the bridge, I'm introducing angles. You can make the cartilage around the nose tip more apparent by outlining the shape, giving it a shadow. Men generally have larger noses to provide more oxygen to the muscles, so I'm going to make the nostrils larger and darken the shading to make them more apparent. Since the nostrils are larger now, let's widen the sides of the nose as well. You can make the shape more angular if you like. Next, let's make his brow bone stronger, and by that, I mean make it stick out more. To do that, we'll need to add shadows to the area, so it no longer looks flat. If your light source comes from above, you can add a shadow under the eyebrow. Adjust the shadow length and darkness to your liking. The darker you shade, the deeper the eyes will sink in, and the more prominent the brow bone will appear. Now, if you have light coming from the front of your character's face, you can shade the sides of the head and forehead to help bring out that protruding brow bone some more. The more testosterone a male has, the stronger his bone structure, so areas such as the brow, nose, jawline, and chin will all be larger in size. Now let's work on the lower half of the face. Alright, so large, full lips can indicate high levels of estrogen in females, so I'm going to make them narrower and less plump looking. Something very easy that you can do to make the lips look less plump is reducing the intensity or the darkness of the lip outline. Now that we've done some erasing, the top lip doesn't look as plump anymore. If your drawing has big lips, try making them narrower. That's what I'm doing to the bottom lip, because it's pretty big. Moving on to the chin. We can make the chin wider or longer or more angular. Keep in mind that a slight change can make a very big difference. I'm going to make it slightly wider and more angular. One of the most effective things that you can do to make a character look more masculine is to widen the jaw and make it look more angular as well. Body fat is also linked to testosterone, the primary male sex hormone. The more testosterone your character has, the less fat tissue you might want to give him. Adjust the level of fat tissue based on your preference. Now there's only so much fat that you can trim when drawing the outline of the face. So to reduce fat further, try to add some shading around the chin, mouth, and/or cheeks to make the cheek area appear hollow. Some light shading may be all that you need. Let's start by adding a shadow around the chin area, and then work around the mouth toward the cheek. Continue shading areas you want to hollow out. The last area we're going to work on is the neck. Here we have a narrow, slender neck. You can see that it's currently vertically aligned to the outside corner of the eye. Let's align it with the outside of the eyebrow, making the neck thicker, more muscular. Let's add some more muscle down here along the traps too, by drawing them higher. let's not forget about the Adam's apple. To add to his muscularity, I'm going to further define his neck muscles by lowering the amount of fat tissue. We can do that by darkening the shadows of the neck. Let's shade the collarbone as well. A small note that I want to add is that not everything has to be so squarish and angular. For example, the chin could be rounded and softer. And the same thing goes for the jawline. If you're going for a less masculine look for your character, soften up some of the harsh angles. You can also make the eyebrows smaller, soften up the nose bridge, or reduce some of the shadows that make him look chiseled. Just play around with each feature until you get a balance that you prefer. Now that we've covered how to fix a drawing that looks too feminine, let's see how we can do the opposite. So let's say you've drawn a character who's supposed to be a female, but looks more like a male instead. This time, I'm going to start with the nose. Let's make it more narrow and smoothen the outline of the nose bridge, which will make the overall nose appear softer. Let's make the eyebrows more narrow and curvy. You can also play with the eyebrow height, drawing them higher to indicate higher levels of estrogen, the primary female sex hormone. The average female has quite a bit of facial fat tissue, so let's get rid of the shadows that make the cheeks look hollowed out. Our character is starting to look quite androgynous at this point. Let's see how many facial features we need to change before we tip the scale. For females, I like to draw big lips and shade or outline the rim pretty dark so they appear plump and are more apparent. But of course you can draw a female with narrow lips that are not at all plump. Let's make the neck look less muscular by making it less wide. If you don't know how narrow to draw it, use the eye as a reference point. I'm aligning the neck to the end of the eye vertically. Let's lighten up the shadows of the neck to give the appearance of added fat tissue, making it look soft and supple. And we'll also need to get rid of the Adam's apple. Alright, for the jawline, I'm going to make it less wide and less angular. I'm trying to soften up all of the features. Now this shadow around the forehead makes her brow bone look very strong, so I'm going to erase these completely. The shadows under her eyebrows make her eyes look deep set. Now there's nothing wrong with that, but the darker these shadows are, the stronger her brow bone will appear, which is a very strong masculine feature. Once I erase the shadow, you can see just how much softer the eye area will look. Let's enlarge those eyes. For a line drawing like this, I like to make the outline around the top lid thicker, so it looks like she has some eye makeup on. But of course, that is not at all necessary. Women generally have more body fat than men, but if you want to make the face look slim, try to add some shading around the cheeks very lightly and/or around the chin. Here's a look at the total transformation. Now, I really hope you found this episode helpful. If you want me to address a common drawing problem that you have, please let me know down below with the words "Fix My Drawing" so I can find your comment more easily. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.